Welcome to Cityline. You know, last time she was here, she decided that she was going to host the show.
You went on vacation.
I was on vacation and left us. All of a sudden, Kimberly's hosting the show. But today, she's our guest expert. Give her a big hand, Kimberly Selden. Back in the role. I love you. And actually, I loved you as host, too.
Oh, it was fun. It was
I
fun.
thought you rocked it. You
fun.
were great. Just a natural.
You have very high stilettos to fill, though,
really
by the way. You do.
I do. They're high. I want to talk a little bit about consignment store finds, because if someone were to take a look at this room, they would not think that everything here comes from consignment.
You never would.
Beautiful.
I was blown away when I found this shop. It's Chalet 62. Their focus is vintage, and they will supplement with some contemporary modern pieces. So, for example, this beautiful gray sofa you see, look at the sleek details. Doesn't this look like right out of the set of Mad Men?
Gorgeous.
1960s. I mean, when you look at the sofa, you think the 60s were a great decade, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were
you do.
great. That was a good time for everyone.
Things look very stylish.
They've added
and
contemporary
sleek.
pillows from a Vancouver company, so Canadian made. That's wonderful, but this is actually a vintage piece from the 60s. As is this beautiful table. This is 70s. It's an original Saarinen, so he's a very famous designer. It's got the sticker on the bottom that says Saarinen, New York.
Wow.
So this is a real find, and it's $650, and you'll definitely find these on sites where you're going to pay a lot more.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. They've taken the time to really do the sourcing and get the price points at a place where you can afford to do it. So if you're doing your first place, or if you're downsizing, moving into a sexy condo.
Yes.
Now, do you know what that is, love?
First of all, children, these are records.
These are records, and not just records.
There's songs on there.
45s.
They're 45,
They're
so they play
45.
songs, and you put them on something called a record player. No, honestly, we have this alphabet thing at home with pictures, and there's a picture of a record, and so Sydney thinks that the letter is C for CD. No, it's a record. That's R.
Well, this whole set was only $50, and I thought this would be so fun to just
amazing.
have on a coffee table conversation starter, because when you're reading some of the names of the songs, they're hysterical. Like Hanging With You Baby and Tennessee Toddy. They're in there. So it's a good conversation starter, but you can also hang them, which is wonderful. These are from West Germany, again, 60s. The chairs are 1960s, but in this case, the fabric is original. Like this is actually somebody preserved these and cared for these and loved these. And you'll notice that the furniture is a little bit more low slung. Things are a little bit lower. We're taller as a group, as a generation.
We've gotten bigger and taller as people.
Bigger and taller.
So this is when people were
a little
teeny tiny.
lower, a little sexier.
I like it.
I like the width of them, though. I think these chairs make my butt look smaller.
Yeah, you're just an itty bitty thing. Look at that.
Don't you think? Can't you tell from back there? Oh yeah, you can totally tell. So $395. And the thing about these chairs is they're made like indestructible. You could recover these and have these in your life forever and ever.
I would say if you are going for a vintage piece as well, that's the one thing you know about it. It's been made properly. It's a good piece that has stood the test of time. Yeah. And I just think the condition that they're in is amazing.
Phenomenal. Now this has been recovered.
Yes.
The chest is beautiful also, and it does lift up, you know, so be careful. I don't want to do that while I've got this beautiful Italian glass on there.
Maybe not.
But the price points at consignment shops are so favorable. So if you're really thinking budget, it can be a great place to start.
Right.
Artwork is contemporary, though it looks retro, and the glass light fixture, that's called a light fixture, right? Light fixture is also contemporary. So they will supplement when they don't find the things that they need. But by and large, everything is 60s, 70s, some pieces from the 80s, like that little side swoop table. Oh my gosh. Which, by the way, is $30.
Really? $30. I remember that table very well.
I know, it's a really good serviceable piece.
I want to know if there's a TV in here.
You could.
Do you remember that?
When
your TV came with 2 speakers attached and big knobs.
Big knobs were in. They were huge. I think probably when you lift this up, it's a record player.
Oh, that would be cool.
But I would repurpose this as the bar.
Of course you would, Kimberly.
Of course. Well, a girl's got to take care of breakfast first, Tracy. My only concern with this one, when my son was little, he's hyperactive, so for sure this would have been open and the glass would have went flying. So you got to think about what you're going to display on top of it.
I want to talk about price now for a moment. So if you are getting a consignment store find, are you paying less for vintage or more?
You're paying less for vintage. Their whole purpose is to bring the products to the consumer at a really reasonable price. If you go on websites like First Dibs, they know the value and they know that there are collectors who will pay a lot more more for these pieces. So sourcing it locally, whatever town you're living in Canada, there is a vintage resale shop that you should be checking out. We're lucky to have Chalet 60 because 62. I don't know, I just lost them 2 numbers for some reason. Chalet, they're Chalet 62. They have a great variety of pieces. So when you're in there, you may be able to build an entire room around a piece that you just didn't dream. You know, $395, you can find a chair for $395. It's probably made of cardboard and spit.
Right, if it's contemporary.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is wonderful, and it's local, and it's here, and so it is a great place to be inspired and get excited. And the other thing is we used to live with a lot more color.
Right.
So as we're thinking like, gosh, I've had enough beige in my life to last a lifetime, you're going into these consignment shops and you're finding, you know, beautiful color in the vases, in the art glass, and in all the accessories and pieces. So it's fun.
Very nice. Bringing color back. Let's go to break. More coming up on Home Day. Stay with us.